Hey guys, this is Resh and today I'm going to talk to you about stocks versus ETFs. What exactly is ETFs? ETFs are your exchange traded funds. Let me give you an example of an ETF. An ETF, a very popular ETF, is what we call the SPY, right? This is the ETF for the S&P 500, right? So let me explain to you what the SPY ETF is. Very simply, we have the S&P 500, which is a collection of 500 of the biggest companies. And if you want to trade this, you can actually invest in the SPY. Alright, so you can actually go and buy the SPY, you can go and buy one share of the SPY, and this gives you automatically a collection of 500 companies by just investing in this one ETF. So if you understand what I mean by now, an ETF very simply is a basket, right? It's a collection of all of these companies put together. Right? So the SPY is just one of them. You have all kinds of ETFs. You have biotech ETFs, you have payment ETFs, you have e-commerce ETFs, you have medical ETFs, you have energy ETFs. You can have all the ETFs you want. Go to Google and type in ETF database, etfdb.com, and on there you can find all the different kinds of ETFs that you can actually invest in. Alright, why do I love ETFs? ETFs gives me a very easy way to diversify, to start buying automatically a basket of stocks, right? And diversification helps me to lower my risk. This is what I love about ETFs. You know, it gives me a stability of mind. I'm cool, especially if I know that I'm investing into an ETF that is very likely to go up over the long run. A perfect example to use will be the SPY ETF. You're talking about 500 of the best companies in the American market. These companies are in fact international companies, right? And hey, you know, it's a fantastic way to start building a portfolio. And guess what? You don't need a lot of money. You can start with as little as 300, 400 bucks. That's all you need to get started. All right. So make sure, you know, if you're a person who wants to get started on ETF investing, it is absolutely amazing. It is low risk, and you can start building a portfolio using ETFs. All right. But what is the difference between ETFs and stocks then? Let me explain. So when you go down the path of stock investing, very simply, what's going to happen is this: you're investing into an individual company. Right? There's inherently a lot more risk when you're investing into an individual company as compared to a basket of stocks. You see, in an ETF, even if one company drops and dies, for example, you have all these other companies to back it up. However, with an individual stock, let's say for example, if the company goes bankrupt, then your entire investment will be gone. Alright, so that's the difference between ETFs and stocks. However, in terms of upside, it is undeniable that stocks will give you a much higher upside as compared to an exchange traded fund, right? So what is for you and what should you pick? That answer lies within yourself. Who are you as an investor? Are you a more risk averse person, or are you a person who's willing to take a lot more risk? If you're somebody who's very risk averse, then have a look at ETFs and start from there. If you're somebody who's willing to stomach a little bit more risk, if you can take a little bit more of the emotional roller coaster, then stock investing might be for you. Another one of the differences is this: with ETFs, you've got to watch the fees, right? Some of them have, you know, management fees, so you've got to actually do your due diligence to actually check up on who is the fund that actually runs the ETF. For me, I like to stick with the SPDR ETFs. Have a look at the SPDR ETFs. These are the ETFs with the highest volume. They are the safest, and you don't have to really worry so much about them, because generally most of them are uptrend in the long run, right? The other ETFs which are by unknown issuers, that's something you've got to take note and watch out for. And with individual stocks, like I told you, you've got to do your fundamental analysis, you've got to do your thorough research before dumping money into any one of these stocks. Alright, so that's what I want to share with you all. And you know, right now in this video, I want to give you a quiz. Right? Tell me, who is the father of ETF investing? Who was the guy who created ETFs? If you know the answer, put it down in the comment section down below. I want to know if any of you have the answer. So let me give you some examples of ETFs. Alright, so these are the main ETFs that you need to know of. The SPY, which is the S&P 500. DIA, which is the ETF for the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is 30 of 30 of the biggest companies in America. And the next one which you need to know of is QQQ. Alright, and that's very simply the ETF for the Nasdaq, right, which very simply tracks mainly technology stocks. Alright, so these are the three main ETFs you got to know of. Right, so I talked about the SPDR ETFs, right? SPDR ETFs. Let me give you some examples. One example would be XLE. So if you believe in energy, for example, and you want to invest in an energy ETF, XLE is something you can actually look at. Right. Let me give you another example. If you believe in healthcare, Bhumi, you can actually have a look at XLV. All right. Let me give you one more example. Right. I'll give you one more example, and the example very simply is technology. If you want to invest in the SPDR technology ETF, there will be XLK. XLK. All right. So these are examples of ETFs that you can actually look at. And again, if you want to look for the full list, you can go on to etfdatabase.com. Alright, check it out. It's completely free. Alright, what are some examples of stocks you can actually invest in? Right, so let me give you an example. In XLK, you will see stocks like Facebook, you will see stocks like Google, for example. Right, so by investing in XLK, you're indirectly investing in all of these companies combined. But by investing in stocks, you can choose to just invest in this one company solely. Alright, so you can make a decision. What do I suggest? How do I do it? My portfolio is a combination of ETFs and stocks. I have this stable base of ETFs, and I also have individual stocks that can really give me a home run. Alright, so this is how I suggest that you structure your portfolio. Build a base of good solid ETFs, and on top of that, have some individual stocks as well, which can give you that home run as well. Let me give you 3 examples of maybe exotic ETFs which you might not have heard of. Alright, so one of them which I really like, one industry which I really believe is growing tremendously is cybersecurity. Alright, and let me give you an example of a cybersecurity ETF which I'm invested in. HACK is what it is. Check it out. Right, and in HACK you have many individual companies which deal with cybersecurity. You might have heard of Cisco, for example. This is one of the stocks in this ETF called HACK. Let me give you another 2 more. You can check this one out. If you believe in the internet, and if you believe in the Chinese internet, then you can possibly invest in KWEB. This is the issuer is basically Crane Shares. And check it out. Ticker symbol KWEB. And very simply, it's an ETF which tracks all the Chinese internet companies. When you invest in this, you're indirectly investing into companies like Tencent, like Alibaba, like Pinduoduo. Many of these companies are in KWEB. Let me give you one more example, and this is one of my ultimate favorites. And this ETF is called iPay. And iPay is an ETF which tracks mobile payment companies. Alright? These companies include companies like Visa, like MasterCard, like PayPal, like American Express. All of these companies are in this ETF called iPay. So my friends, if you do want to invest in ETFs, it gives you a good diversification of fantastic solid companies. And hey, look, you can look at the ETFs to find out and learn about individual stocks as well. And that is my secret to finding out some of the best growth companies. Alright, so hey guys, utilize the power of ETFs, invest in ETFs, and also use ETFs to go and search for the best companies to invest in, because that, my friends, is my secret trading sauce. And most importantly, my friends, if you do want support in your journey, if you do want to know how do you exactly do it, we actually have our Road to 1 Million support channel, right, which you can go and sign up on in the description channel down below. We actually support you in your journey of stocks and options investing to help you go from 0 to $1 million in your portfolio. So if you like that support, if you want an entire community to be supporting you, then please feel free to check out the link below and sign up for the Road to 1 Million, right? I can't wait for you to get to the very top together with us. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure you catch us on our next video when we share our next topic about investing. Catch you on the next video.